Chapter 16. The Pirates and the Thieves. You stand in shock, staring at the treasure-laden funeral boat in the center of the room where Tora's mother lies unmoving. My mother's dead? Tora. The shock and sadness melt away from Tora's features, leaving behind a furious anger as she faces the crowd of gathered orcs. What happened? Who did this? Who killed my mother? Look more closely at her body. I am looking. You scan over Ventra's corpse one more time to confirm your initial assessment. She doesn't have any wounds. I don't think this is the result of a fight. That's not possible. Someone must have... No one killed her. A bespectacled orc dressed in leather steps forward. You recognize her as an old friend of Tora's, the one who runs Flotilla's archives. What does it mean, Skullcrusher? I'm sorry, Tora, but your mother had been sick for some time. Tora jerks back as if hit with a battering ram. That's impossible. I would have known. She kept her illness a secret from nearly all of us. She saw it as a weakness, one that could leave Flotilla vulnerable to attack. But Tora's her daughter. Surely she could have... That's why she was so adamant about me taking over, wasn't it? Tora nearly staggers under the weight of this revelation, clutching her hands first in fists and then to her chest. She knew she was dying. Why didn't she just tell me, damn it? I'm so sorry. This one's a tough one. It is. Maybe she was trying to protect you. From what? The inevitable? Yes. Maybe she wanted you to remember her the way she was, strong and commanding, standing on the bow of her ship with the salty spray of the ocean in her hair. And not like this. This wasn't the first secret she kept from you. I can't say that she was what she was thinking, but this was with those keepsakes, and it wasn't that you weren't worthy of knowing, it's that she was scared. It seems like vulnerability was kind of her greatest fear. Wrapping an arm around Tora's shoulders, squeezed comfortingly. She keeps staring at the funeral boat, eyes shining with tears. What do I do now? You give your mother the send-off she deserves. And then we return to the task at hand. Together. We'll be right here with you through it all. Evil Nia would be like, screw you. Just, let us know what you need. She closes her eyes, taking strength from your collective presence as she draws in a deep breath, which is suddenly interrupted. Tora, do you intend to take your mother's throne? The throne? Tora just found out her mother is dead. This is a lot to spring. I'd support you. It's what Queen Ventra wanted. A murmur rises from the gathered orcs, and another clan leader steps forward, a snarl twisting his face. I wouldn't. Kraglin, been a while since we sailed together. It was. You might have been a good captain, but that doesn't mean you know how to lead the clans. He turns and addresses the crowd. Tora Tel Kalin lacks discipline. She refused to obey the Queen's summons, flouted her orders, and she places the will and well-being of outsiders above the needs of Flotilla. She's unfit to rule. Hey, this isn't my opinion about... we can't pick it, so... She's been protecting Flotilla. She hasn't been wandering the rest of the realm for fun. She's been protecting it from bigger threats than you can imagine. Like what? Like people with powerful shadow magic that want to conquer and kill everyone in the light realm? If that's true, it is. This is Tora's home. She's only ever spoken of it with love and care. She always has Flotilla's best interest at heart.
was very heartwarming and all, but I may point out that I've remained true to the crew of my ship.
You haven't even captained a vessel for more than a year.
I've never been defeated in battle, and I always bring in the best treasure, therefore I should lead flotilla.
Too bad you can't negotiate your way out of a torn crab pot.
I'll negotiate your face into the ground.
Wallace prices closer to you, clearly sensing the growing tension in the air. Most likely, Imtora's gonna have to challenge him. I know, buddy. Glance back at Imtora, but she seems deep in thought, hardly paying attention to the fight that's about to break out on her behalf. Keep them apart. One of the orcs takes a swing at another, but you flow into their path and block the blow with the Zephyr form. That's enough.
What?
His face screws up in anger, but you shove him back using the boulder form. He stumbles back into the wall with a grunt.
She knows Qatar?
She's not bad at all, either.
Where'd you learn that?
It doesn't seem like the best time to admit Imtora passed on an orcish martial art to an outsider, so you look to her for guidance. Imtora takes a step back from the tangled of arguing orcs, her face steeled with focus.
Oi, be quiet.
Her shout cuts through the bickering. Silence falls, interrupted only by the creaking of the ship, and then a scowling orc steps forward. You aren't in charge of us. We don't have to listen.
All of this infighting is pointless. Are you pirates or squabbling children?
Honestly, I've met children who are better behaved.
And to think you all call yourselves captains, you're a disgrace to the title.
Tora seems to loom larger. Several orcs shrinking at her words, and you abruptly realize it must be the effect of the potion of strengthening. I didn't mean...
I don't want apologies, I want solutions. Throwing punches may be fun, but it's not going to solve anything. If you want real change to come to Flotilla, you'll have to talk.
And Tora squares her shoulders as she stares around the room, as if she's willing the space, and the rest of the orcs watch her, cowed. It seems she doesn't need our help. Not today. Kraglin crosses his arms and scowls, but his violent mood seems to have been quashed by Imtora's very presence.
What would you suggest, then? That we just make you queen?
I'm the queen's daughter, her hair, and I could face any of you in a single combat and win. The throne could be mine for any number of reasons. But I don't want it, I never have, all of you know this. But have any of you considered that there shouldn't be a throne in the first place? What is she talking about? Imtora, you can't mean...
I do.
She wants to change things for the better.
And what does that mean, exactly?
I don't know. I don't think Imtora does either. But knowing we don't have the answers is an opportunity to find the best solution together. The orcs all exchange looks, many nodding their head, and a few offering tusked smiles. Like how any one person can't man a ship, it takes a crew. Dora flings a hand out to point at the throne.
The throne didn't exist before my mother. She conquered you all and forced you to serve under her. Why did you go along with it?
Because she was strong enough to do it. And you are too, Imtora.
I'm not the only strong person here. Kraglin, no one understands the winds like you do. You can maneuver a ship anywhere you want it to go. I like to think so.
And you, Devana, no one has charted more of the sea than you. You've mapped islands the rest of us have only dreamed of seeing. Not that your mother ever thanked me. You lean into Mal. Look at our girl go.
No one ruler can have all of our unique abilities. If we all work together, Flotilla will be stronger for it.
That is the purpose of the Advisory Council.
Yet the Queen always had the final decision. She could just ignore their advice and do whatever she wanted. I'm proposing a ruling council where everyone serves equally and we make decisions together. My mother taught you what you can accomplish when you work together. Imagine what you can do when you choose to do so.
Can't say I'll miss the way the Queen treated us.
And I'd rather not go back to warring with each other. We find so much more treasure when we aren't sinking each other's ships.
More orcs murmur with excitement. You clap to Imtora on the back before stepping up yourself. I hate to interrupt all this, but we actually came here to ask for your help. There's a powerful force invading from the Shadow Realm, and we need the strongest allies if we hope to defeat them. The Ash Empire wants to conquer the Light Realm. The Empress wouldn't be satisfied until she destroys us all. We can fight her on our ocean, can't we? Better to face her on our turf. You meet alone and outnumbered after Morella has fallen. If you're gonna fight anyway, might as well join us and take the fight to her. So, what do you say? Will you fight with us? The Nagani clan is with you. It's best to meet the enemy head-on. The Minovari clan will follow wherever you lead us, Imtora. Wonderful. Oh, watch Cracklin say something stupid.
Yep, here we go. I won't risk the Red Fashti clan in a fight on land. We will meet her on the wind and waves if it comes to that.
I understand your hesitation, Cracklin. To those willing to join us, thank you. And to the rest of you, we'll do our best to make sure you never have to meet the Empress. Wallace hides behind Imtora's leg, chirping in agreement. Imtora picks him up and strides towards the exit, the rest of your party falling in behind her. You're almost to the door when a voice calls out.
That's it. You'll just let us say no.
I said we're all equal, and I meant it. You owe me no fealty. You should do what's best for your clan.
Huh.
The orc stares at Imtora for a long moment and then breaks into a toothy grin.
So, when do we sail to Morella?
Now you want to join us?
Honor demands we join you. It would be shameful to cower at sea while such a battle rages. The Red Fashti clan will meet this Ash Empire, and they will rue the day they challenge the truly united clans of Flotilla.
The few other chieftains that had reluctance loudly cheer their support, and the orcs quickly scatter to make preparations. I can't believe that actually worked. Imtora, you're stronger than you know. It's scary telling people that what you want and trying something that's never been done before, but you still did it. You helped. Hardly. That was all you, Imtora. The rest of us were just cheering you on in the background. We should make preparations to return to White Tower. I'll find us someone willing to give us a ride for when you're ready, Imtora. The two of them depart while Imtora approaches the funeral boat. Lingering at her mother's side, Nia and Skull Crusher stay close at hand. It can be hard to say goodbye. I wasn't ready to. Her boat is ready to be set to drift. Tonight could be her final voyage. We probably shouldn't set sail until the morning anyway. We can make time for this. Looking grateful, Imtora nods at Skull Crusher, heads out. You and Nia remain standing on either side of Imtora as she stares down at her mother. It's tradition to send the deceased clan leaders to meet the sea in a boat like this. Then we spend the night in celebration of her life. My mother, for all of her faults, meant a lot to a lot of people. If you'd like, Imtora, I could say a few words at the ceremony. The Temple of Light has many ways to honor the dead. Nia, are you sure you want to pray to the light after everything we've learned? What do you mean? Well, you fell into shadow right after, so we really didn't get to talk about it, but Tyrell sorta had a tantrum over a scroll. Let's not call it a tantrum. Listen, if someone told me the elements didn't work the way I thought they did, I'd be a mess too. Tantrums all around. I do remember that. Well, small parts. The shadow had been growing so strong ever since we saw what happened to Cherta's grandmother. Oh, Nia. You were mighty quiet.
I was on the edge of turning for so long, and when I did, I mocked Tyrrell's faith, our faith. She sniffles, nearly overcome. And I remember every detail. I've apologized and he's accepted, but I still feel awful. I chased after him when he stormed off, and he showed me what was on the scroll. It was a threat Nefara sent to the Zeradun. She was going to wipe the dwarves out if they didn't find and give up some sort of fugitive. That doesn't sound like justice. Yeah, that was the problem. Tyrrell says that the letter had to be authentic because it was Nefara's seal, so that means Nefara isn't as she's been represented in the temple's text. Yeah, in his tablet, the Watcher said that Nefara and the other old gods belonged to a race that called themselves the Ascendant.
What an incredibly humble name.
They decided to divide magic and use light exclusively, but when that didn't work the way they wanted, they blamed the Shadow. So they created the Shadow Realm to contain all the shadow magic, and the Watcher maintained the barrier. One of the other old gods tried to stop them. You think this is the fugitive in Nefara's letter, the one that wanted to destroy Zeradun for her? Yeah, it gets worse, though. If the lore tablet we found in the Temple of Alara is accurate, and I'm almost certain it is, aging like that would be difficult to fake. I think that the fugitive was the Mother of Grey.
I'm sorry, who?
The sixth old god. The tablet said that she accepted the world as it was, and that her disagreeing with the other gods allowed them to create a better world. But what if they created that better world not with her, but in spite of her? We're taught that she is anonymous by choice, a kind of martyrdom, but with what you've learned, Rain, I think she tried to stand against the injustice and she lost her name as a result. They tried to erase her. So we're not just fighting an old god, we're fighting an old god who tried to do the right thing.
This mother person is the Ash Empress. Sunken hells. What do we tell Mal and Tyrrell?
We can figure that out, but for right now, Nia, when it comes to Ventra's ceremony, what do you want to do? Nia's quiet for a moment. She plays idly with her earring, the light crystals that amplify her power glinting in the firelight. It sounds like Nefara was yet another person who was corrupted and co-opted the nature of magic for her own ends. That doesn't make the light any less of a healing force or a loving force. Nefara isn't the light, just as the light isn't Nefara. So, if you're comfortable, Imtora, I'd still like to offer my services as a temple priestess.
I'm definitely not a fan of any of these ancient assholes, but a little bit of what the light represents to you would be nice right now. I still don't feel ready, but her grandmother's funeral seemed to help Charta. Maybe this is what I need too. I just don't want to do it alone.
Oh man, I'll tell you. I'm not going anywhere.
Thank you both. I could really use your support right now.
We're here for you. For whatever you need. Wallace snuzzles affectionately against Imtora. Wallace is here for you too.
Oh, thanks, little guy.
You travel through the docks and gather on the deck of the late Queen's Royal Galleon.
Didn't think we'd be back here so soon.
I wish we could have seen it under better circumstances. Queen Ventra's crews adorn the funeral boat with shells and sea glass. Seaweed drapes off the sides in loose, lacy waves, and wide, white candles lie beside moonstones. It's beautiful.
Offerings of the elements to the elements, for soon she will join them.
All together. Skullcrusher helps the crew hoist the lifeboat up and just over the galleon's rail so that she hangs next to the deck. Then she turns to Imtora.
First, Nia's going to say a few words.
Nia steps forward every inch of the priestess performing her solemn duty. Ventra Tal Galleon, Queen Flotilla, leader of the 12 fleets. You lived a shining life full of bravery and adventure and grew a nation from the sea. A nation powered by the winds, loved by the skies, and watched over by the moon. Tonight, we return you to those same elements. Let what once flowed through you now flow around you, cradling you in their eternal embrace. And may the light be honored to watch over you, if you'll have it. She bows her head, and a few members of the crew step up to share their own words before dropping single gold coins into the dark waves.
You were the greatest leader we ever could have asked for.
You embodied all the elements in life. I have never seen a fiercer warrior. And all eyes turn to him, Tora. Looks like it's your turn.
I'm not really one for speeches.
It's okay, just say what you feel.
That's just it. I don't know what I feel. Sad, angry, alone.
All the above? I'd say that makes sense.
After a deep breath, Tora begins to speak, her voice carrying over the deck. I think everyone knows that I had a complicated relationship with my mother. She was a strong woman with strong opinions about how things should be. I didn't always meet her expectations, but I loved her like the sea, deep and fierce, and I'm grateful for everything she taught me. She walks over to the boat and stands silently beside it as the other orcs offer their condolences before dropping more gold over the side of the ship. Giving them space, you quietly join Nia, who's been looking on with tears in her eyes.
How are you holding up? You should be asking him, Tora, that question. I'm not the one who just lost her mother. I have asked her, and I'll keep asking, but right now I'm asking you. You've been through a lot recently. Both you and Tyrell had your faith turned upside down. You were trapped in the shadow form for days, Nia. That can't have been easy. It wasn't, and it was. What do you mean? It was awful. Like, all the terrible thoughts and urges I ever had were suddenly at the surface. Not just visible, but present. And it all felt good. I liked not having to be me, the girl who always put other people before herself. Sounds like you needed a break. You could only neglect yourself for so long before you start to resent it. It's only natural. But how can I take time for myself when there are people out there who need my help? You'll help more people in the long run if you do. Trust me. When you run out of energy, you need to rest, just like someone who breaks their leg needs to give it time to heal. Ha 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 ha! Oh, not always. Seriously. If you ever want to know, just ask me. Nia brushes your hand in gratitude, and you both turn back to the ceremony as Tora steps away from her mother's funeral boat, glittering gold coin in one hand and a pulley in the other.
Goodbye, Mother. I wish you fair winds and calm seas.
Calm skies, too. With that, she drops the coin, lowers Ventress's boat down to the water, and cuts the rope. It drifts off, bobbing in the waves. Ready, Captain?
Yes, it's time.
Woohoo, let's party!
What?
Tora chuckles at your shock as the members of the crew roll out casks of ale and rum, while others begin playing music and dancing. No party like an orc funeral, Landrat. The best way to honor someone's life is to celebrate it.
That's a wonderful sentiment.
A proper funeral would last at least a week, but we're pressed for time. We'll just have to make this one night count.
Where do you want to start?
Plus, you can always make up after we win. Skull Crusher has already pulled up a table and laid out mugs. She winks at you and holds out a pint of ale. Is that for me? Fancy a true test of constitution and will, Rain? A drinking contest, huh? I'll join. I never turn down good ale. Grab a mug, square up against Toro, Skull Crusher, and Nia, who's eyeing the sheer size of her mug nervously. This is a lot. Just try your best and have fun. 3, 2, 1, go! You gulp the ale as fast as you can, but it seems like only seconds before Tora triumphantly slams her third empty mug down on the table. Victory! Damn. Not bad, Captain. At least people can't call me a princess anymore. Thank the moon.
You look over at Nia, who's still drinking her first ale with determined swallows. Nia, the contest is over. Let her have her fun. She finally drains her mug and drops it on the table with a lopsided grin. Oh, I know, but I had to finish at least one. For Ventra and the light and the moon. Now we've sampled the finest orcish ale. What's next? We could dance or... Oh, there's axe throwing. She makes a quick break for the quarterdeck, where a target board has been set up beside a row of throwing axes.
Normally I'm all for tipsy axe throwing, but I'm not sure Nia can even lift those things.
I suppose we'll find out. Rain, you go first. You line up in front of the targets and heft an axe, getting a feel for its weight in your hand. Oh, here goes nothing. Throw it right now. Aim first. Take my time. Aim first. You take a quick but deep breath as you line up your shot and release. And hit the bullseye.
Is there anything you can't do?
I don't know. Find a girlfriend? Torrid steps up next, lifting 2 axes and throwing them with practiced ease. They sail through the air with clean efficiency, but they hit the targets just off their center points.
Maybe I'm the one who's had too much ale. I can't throw worth a damn right now.
Nia, you're up. Oh, I can't wait! She hops up and down with a giggle and sways dizzily before righting herself.
Just be careful.
Nia lifts one axe. She throws it with a slow underhand arc that seems to take forever to reach a target, but it cuts right into the bullseye.
Oh.
It's easy. Just need a little guidance, that's all.
She lowers her voice conspiratorially.
Magical guidance, that is.
Cheater.
Weren't you the one who said pirates are obligated to cheat?
I was. Proud of you, Nia.
Thank you. The 3 of you join the revelers dancing in the middle of the deck, losing yourself in the music until the distant sky begins to lighten with tinges of pink and gold. We really partied all night long. Wow, this was the tamest party. This is my favorite kind of funeral.
Much as I'd love to keep at it, we should head back to the others.
Why not? Tora just lost her mom. You gesture for her to follow you and duck into the forecastle. You find a spot where the 2 of you can sit together, sheltered from view, staring out over the ocean as the first signs of dawn begin to turn the sky golden. How are you feeling?
Better than I should.
Imtura.
She just took up so much space in my head, for good or ill. Now that she's gone, it's like there's a void where she used to be, sails without the wind.
Maybe this gives you room to think then. She bites her lip, tusks jutting out thoughtfully.
Maybe.
I'm glad I got to see this ship the way you saw it as a kid. But I'm sorry you didn't get to have the childhood you deserved. You realize Tora has gone suddenly still, her head bowed. When she speaks, her voice is soft and vulnerable.
Thank you for staying with me.
You know I've always been there for you.
Sometimes it's hard to believe it. I just never thought I'd find someone like you.
Kiss her. You lean in, catching her lips in a soft, tender kiss. There's an open vulnerability to her right now that you rarely see, in the realization of how deeply she trusts you, gentles your touch as you pull back. Believe in him, Tora, you're not getting rid of me. You can't tell if tears pricked her eyes or it's just a reflection of the sun as it peeks over the distant horizon, but she leans in to kiss you as the sun rises, wrapping you in a sweet embrace that promises 1,000 more.
I suppose we'd best get moving. It's a long trip to White Tower.
Are you ready for it?
Bring the Empress on, I'll eat her out alive. Though, by the looks of her, she'd taste like burnt radishes.
You sail to the Moorland coast and then hike overland until you reach White Tower's high city walls. There's so much to do, but you know you need to tell everyone what's going on and what you're really fighting. Mal, Tyrrell, we've got to talk about something. What's the matter, Rain? I can taste Tyrrell about 10% less, but that's my final offer. I can handle Mal, that is not a concern. Good to know, but I learned something from the Watcher that makes things weird. Well, even weirder. The Ash Empress is a god. An old god. The old gods, as in the old gods of the Elven Pantheon. She's the mother of Grey, Tyrrell. She tried to lead a coup against Nephara to keep her from dividing the realms and got locked in the Shadow Realm instead. With the way Nephara spoke to the elders of Zeradun, I believe her wrath was so great that she erased her rival in every way she could. I thought the goddess gave up her name willingly. I thought she wanted to help. I never could have imagined. She might have thought she was helping Nia. But she's done such horrible things since then. She took you, Rain. You take her hand wordlessly, giving a small squeeze, reminding her that you're here. Are you alright, Nia? I know you held the mother as your patron light, yes, but she hurt the people I care about. So I'm gonna hurt her back. The Ash Empress went toe-to-toe with Nephara and the other 4 gods all at once, so she's even more powerful than we thought. This is concerning. Now this god lady is in for it. Tyrrell's concern. Killed 6 bandits last month. Oh boy. I know it doesn't change much. We still have to stop her, but at least we know the old gods can die, because Nephara and the others dead. That really does make me feel better. I prefer my gods stabbable. God or not, we will not let her succeed.
She's not gonna know what hit her.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's get going. Cade'll want to have a look at this tablet for sure. You glance around at your friends as you walk, truly realizing that what you're about to attempt. White Tower citizens bustle by you, unaware of the doom that bears down upon them. Poor sods. Don't know there's a god at their gates. I need to talk to the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild? I think that sounds like a wonderful idea. And I probably haven't explained it well enough. But you're the one who suggested it.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea, it's just, it's gonna be difficult.
Thieves are not generally known for helping others unless there is coin involved, Mal being the occasional exception.
Oh, elf boy, you're going soft on me.
We do need all the allies we can get. I'm sorry, Mal, but I cannot accompany you. Time is short. I must go to the palace to send a missive to Adrian in Undermount. We also need to make contact with the dwarves and the goblins.
That's alright, elf boy. I'm not sure the guild would like you. You're not very thievy. Recent tomb raiding accepted.
I think I'll take that as a compliment. I'll let Cade and Lola know what's happening while you're there. Tyrrell, we'll meet up with them later. And I must return to the temple. There's a lot of organizing to be done to get us ready for battle. We'll need every healer we can find.
Tora looks between Nia and Mal, conflicted. You stick with Nia, Tora. Some of the priests are more like Sauron than I'd like, and it would be easier to contact the Thieves Guild with less company anyway.
And with that settled, your party heads our separate ways. Following Mal's lead, you move through the streets towards the market district. Are you sure you want to do this, Mal? I know they'd be helpful in the battlefield, but the Thieves Guild did kinda
force my sister and me to steal for them at a very young age.
Yeah, that.
Hell, about that.
It leads you to a quaint little home tucked between 2 shops, where Mal knocks on the door and it's opened by a woman with brown hair and a familiar eye. She pulls Mal into a hug immediately. Mal, it's been so long.
Rain, meet my sister, Ren. Ren, this is Rain.
Rain, the Rain, kidnapped for a year, Rain. Yeah, that's me. It's about time we met. You're telling me Mal never stops talking about you? Mal's cheeks flush.
Ren.
What? You want me to lie?
Maybe a little?
Oh, too bad. Wallace peeks around your leg and stares up at Rain curiously. And who's this? This is Wallace, a friend I met in the thunderstorm. Rain holds out a hand to Wallace, who butts his head directly against her fingers in an obvious invitation to pet him. Aren't you precious? Yes. They're adorable. I want to hold one. It's like a Furby. She holds the door open for you both, beaming brightly as you step inside. My brother has told me so many wild tales about you and your friends. I feel like I know you already. I hope, you'll tell me just as much about Mal. Where to even begin? Maybe the time he got a bucket stuck on his head. Ren, don't you dare. Oh, that one sounded fun. Anyway, Vivi's sister's on shore leave, so they're at the market catching up before she heads back to the coast, but she'll be back soon enough. Here, sit. I've a batch of fruit tarts that just cooled. Vivi will be so excited to finally meet you, Rain. Well, this isn't really a social visit, Ren. We need to speak with Safana. You can't be serious. Unfortunately, I am. There's a whole army coming from the Shadow Realm, and we need all the help we can get defeating it. I know you still have your ties to the guild. Of course I do. No one gets to just walk away. But it's not like we're close. They just keep an eye on me and drop in every once in a while to threaten my family if I say too much. The only reason they haven't managed to catch you, Mal, is that you refuse to stay in one place for long enough. I'm glad you've been able to keep the orphanage a secret, but it still worries me for you and them. Ren, I had to stay in White Tower. You know why. I do, and I'm always glad to keep an eye on you, but visiting the garden every day was risky. Her people could have seen you. Wait, the garden? Where was I taken from? It's alright, kid. Nothing to worry about. Ren's just allergic to flowers. A strange beat passes between them, unspoken, but painful, not to be touched for sure. Ren... The guild threatens you? Oh, nothing too much. The usual. Ren screws up her face, an imitation of someone very angry and very large. Say a word at a place and we'll send your wife to the bottom of the river and you'll join her there. They really need to work on their threats. The river's hardly 3 feet deep. Are you sure we want an ally with these people? I know you joined the guild when you were just a child, but I feel like there's still a lot you're not telling me. Mal sighs and runs his hand through his hair. If you're taken in by the guild, you owe them a debt, and the only way to pay it off is working hard and rising in the ranks. I was 16 when I made it in the Reapers. That's the level before, or right below Thief Master. That's when he got me out. I paid for Ren first, then myself, but Safina, the head of the guild, claimed I knew too much, she wouldn't let me go. So I kind of left on my own. And they've been hunting you ever since. What will happen if they get a hold of you again? It doesn't matter. Savina's no fool. She'll understand the threat we're facing. Ren just has to give us the current passwords to the hideout, and then... Absolutely not. If you're facing down the guild, I'm coming with you. No, it's way too dangerous. So, you're the only one who gets allowed to get into danger. What about Vivi? You've got a family to take care of. You're my family too, Mal. Hey, I'll look after Mal. I promise, I'll bring him back safely. No offense, Rain, but Mal's been working himself to death in some attempt at heroic self-sacrifice ever since you disappeared. That's... true. Fair. I just don't want you to get hurt. I know how much you mean to Mal. I can handle myself, can't I? She pins Mal with a glare that makes him sweat. Absolutely, totally, completely. Then it's settled. So when do we head out? Not until after dark. The kind of guild members we want don't work until after sundown. Why don't the two of you stay for dinner? Vivi should be home any minute, and I know she'd love to see you both, and I still want to hear all about the trouble my brother's gotten you into.
Hey, Rains gets me into trouble.
Sometimes. I've got a few of my own stories I could share about Mal when he was little. Last time he was visiting us, he had to jump out a window because the city guards caught up with him.
Diamond choice. Social quest, we'd love to.
Great! You two make yourselves comfortable. I'll get dinner started. Mal leads you to a dining table where you both take seats. As soon as you're seated, a cat leaps into your lap, nuzzling your hand. You run a hand over the cat's head, and immediately he begins purring in encouragement. Who's this?
Samson.
Mal glares at the cat, who's happily kneading your lap with his paws. Do you have some kind of grudge against your sister's cat? They just don't get along.
Or like Samson loves everyone in the world except for me, who he hates.
Samson doesn't hate you, he's just indifferent.
That's the same thing for a cat.
Well, I like you. That's gotta count for something, right?
I'd take you over some grumpy cat any old day.
Take that back. Samson is an angel. You reach over and take Mal's wrist gently, guiding his hand towards Samson. Maybe if we pet him together... Mal reaches out tentatively, his fingers hovering over Samson's back. With a swish of his tail, Samson ducks away from Mal and leaps out of your lap to stride pointedly away.
See?
Wallace watches Samson stride away in confusion, then butts against Mal's leg, clicking his beak. Well, listen, at least Wallace loves you. Well, at least Wallace isn't indifferent to you. Laughing, Mal obligingly pats Wallace on the head and is rewarded with a chittering sort of purr. Who needs a cat when you have an owlbear? The front door swings open and a lovely woman steps through, arms full of packages from the market. When she catches sight of Mal, she drops everything and leaps to pull him into a hug. Mal, you're back.
Vivi, you're crushing me.
Oh, hush, you've got to tell us where you've been, but let me close the door before Ren starts fussing. I heard that.
Vivi closes the door and nudges the groceries towards the wall, then sizes you up and flings her arms around you as well.
You must be one of Mal's friends.
Rain, this is Vivi, my sister's wife. Vivi, this is...
Rain? The Rain? Oh, that's exactly what Ren said. The way Mal talks about you, we've both been so curious. Oh, and how exactly does he talk about me? Well...
Vivi, not you too.
What kind of sister-in-law would I be if I didn't embarrass you at least a little?
When you glance at him, his cheeks are flushed, but he shakes his head with an affectionate sigh.
But it's nice to finally meet you. Vivi, it's great to meet Mal's family. Let me guess, you didn't even know he existed before today. I knew Mal had a sister, and that she had a wife, and that you make incredible honey almond sweet rolls, but that's about it. Well, as long as he's drumming up business.
She chuckles.
Sorry about that, he's pretty protective. Not that he doesn't have any good reason to be, given all the trouble he and Ren got into back in the day.
She leans closer to you and lowers her voice.
I was starting to think he'd never find someone special, but I'm glad he finally did. Well, you're not the only one.
Vivi helps Ren put the shopping away before taking a seat next to you at the table.
So, where have you been? You left White Tower with almost no warning, and we haven't heard a thing since. I think it's easier to say where we haven't been.
We can talk about that later. I want to know how the two of you are doing.
Did your sister tell you she's had a few commissions for paintings? Ren, you're an artist? Well, I wouldn't say an artist yet. I mostly helped Vivi run the bakery. So, how did you two meet? It was the painting. I needed a sign for the bakery, and a friend told me they knew someone. When Ren showed up, looking more like she was ready to paint the walls with blood. Oh, come on. I'm not that scary. Not anymore. And not once I got to know you. Next thing you knew, I had you painting the walls. The menus, the bakery boxes. She even paints me sometimes, but only after hours.
I do not want to hear this.
I think it's sweet. Not long before Rand calls to you to the kitchen to help set the table. Once you're settled over dinner, Vivi grins. I've been wanting to ask Rain this forever. Tell us the true story of how you met Mal. Did he really rescue you? Actually, I rescued him. That's not the story we heard.
Because it's wrong.
You were surrounded by the Shadow Court and was about to get murdered. My timely intervention
Interrupted my flawless escape plan.
Uh-huh. It's okay, Mal. We all get in over our heads sometimes. To be fair, I was also in over my head that night, and Mal did help us get out of there.
See?
But I still was the one who rescued him. Stop. You two are adorable. Aren't they?
Mal ducks his head at the teasing, but he's smiling as he reaches out to squeeze your hand.
Okay, but now I want to hear a story about Mal from when he was a kid.
Oh, look at the time. We'd better,
It's not even dark yet. Mal heaves a sigh, but Rand waves him away and leans towards you, her eyes glinting with humor. I'm sure you've noticed that Mal's obsessed with climbing things. Been that way ever since he was little. There was a time he found an exceedingly tall tree next to Lake Arlos and climbed up as far as he could go.
Which was the top? I was a very good climber.
But climbing up wasn't enough, so he started climbing out. Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh, what? Look at that.
Oh yes. How far did he go before a branch broke? Far enough to be directly over the lake, thank the gods. He crawled out of the water, covered in moss, looked like some sort of cursed sea creature. That sounds so hilarious.
It was not.
I was laughing so hard I thought my sides would split. I wish I'd been there to see it.
You two are the worst.
As dinner finally winds to a close, Ren and Vivi pick up the dishes and carry them to the other room to clean up, leaving you and Mal alone. I knew we came here for another reason, but I'm really glad I got to meet your family, Mal.
I'm just glad they met you too. There aren't many people I trust enough to let them in like this.
I'm honored to be one of them.
I was holding off and inviting Nia until...
He trails off, that familiar weight sitting between you. Until I was back?
Yeah.
You take his hand, smiling gently. Thanks for waiting for me.
You're always worth waiting for, Kit. Is that what you want?
Do you really need to ask?
Asking can be very attractive. All my favorite things begin by asking.
Mal, I'm trying to make a pun. His mouth cuts you off, lips seizing yours in a kiss so passionate it sets your head whirling. His arms wrap around you and he spins you into a shadowed alcove, pressing you back against the wall. And the rest of the world falls away in a few dizzy moments. It's simply you and Mal in the way of the feels as his hands slide over your body, somehow hungry and patient at the same time. He cups your jaw with a gentle hand, holding you in place for one last hungry, tongue-tangling kiss. Then he pulls away, his breath hitched.
I've been wanting to do that all night.
How about you? Don't wait next time.
He kisses your cheek and brings you back upright, eyes bright with affection. Noted.
Later that night, Mal and Ren lead you through the slums. Though plenty of people linger in the shadows watching you, Mal moves with confidence. You sure know where you're going?
It's not so much where as how.
Ren pauses as a stooped older woman turns the corner up ahead, walking casually towards you. It's a nice evening for a stroll. So it seems. Do you think the weather will hold? I hope for rain by midnight. You continue on, Ren leading you around another corner as the stranger disappears into the shadows. Was it some kind of riddle? pretty much passwords to let them pass. Something like that, just keep your eyes peeled for anyone following us. You peer into the darkness. Nothing unusual appears ahead of you, but when you glance back over your shoulder, you see a teenage boy peeking his head out from an alley. Behind us, I think I see someone. Nice catch. He turns and the three of you stroll towards the teen, who straightens up and starts whistling a jaunty tune. What a pleasant melody. Thanks, my lady. He scampers off and you raise your eyebrows at Rin. I take it you knew both of them? Not personally, but they're members of the guild. When you want to find the hideout, you have to start at the lowest rank. You say their password. They contact the one above them, so on until you reach someone who knows the current location. It changes every few weeks, so do the codes. That's why we needed Rin. I mean, you could have just given them your name. That would have gotten someone's attention real fast. If they didn't just stab me outright. A man in a naval attire steps out of the alley and abruptly into your path. You look lost. Do you need directions? We know exactly where we're going. Stranger nods, but instead of walking off like the other two have, he eyes the three of you with a scowl. Is there a problem? You look like the kind of folk who work for the guard, and I ain't about to help a bunch of rats. You will, if you want your coin purse back. The man hastily checks for his coin purse, which is tucked into his left pocket. What kind of foolishness was that? You want to watch out for that one. Haven't you heard the tales, madness, and murder? As Mal spins out of store, you lean in and lift the coin purse easily from the man's pocket while he's distracted. You step back and bounce the purse on one hand. The man stares for a heartbeat and then claws at his empty pockets. Give it back. Oh, you still believe we're the guard? Yeah, just give me my money back. Grinning, you toss him the coin purse. The man disappears in the darkness, and when you turn the next corner, there's a sickly-looking beggar sitting against an abandoned building. Spare, copper to spare, good folks. Rain withdraws a silver coin from a belt and tosses it into the cup. May this coin improve your fortunes. At once, the beggar drops his performance. He straightens, suddenly looking strong and dangerous. What business do you have with the guild? The hero of Morella would like an audience with the Thief Master. And why would the hero of the realm possibly want to speak with the Queen of Thieves? Because we have someone she's looking for. Rain, I'm not sure. Who is it? Really isn't your business. But suffice it to say, Safina will be very happy with you when she finds out you helped deliver this particular person. All right, I'll send you lot to the Thief Master. Seems like you know what you're doing anyhow. Most of my underlings assumed you were already part of the guild. Hear that, kid? You're already on your way to becoming a rogue. Always knew I had it in me. Never hurts to be prepared, though, if you want my advice. He pulls a strangely carved stone out of his pocket and holds it up to you. You'll take this with you. It's an invisibility stone. It will make you disappear for a full minute. And why would I want to do that? In case the Thief Master tries to kill you, a mere 20 gold could save your life. 20 gold, that's extortion. But it could come in handy, especially if Safina decided she'd rather fight than talk, which she does frequently for fun and profit. Unless you're up to doing the fly, phasey thing with your feet on the ground, please. Not sure the fly, phasey thing would be the best idea in close combat. I could phase through you by accident. Okay, let's not try that for now. So maybe we need a sure thing. I guarantee having that stone would impress Safina. Really? You pull out a satchel of coins and toss it to the guild member. He peeks inside before bouncing the bag on his hand and offers you the stone. A pleasure doing business with you. Just trace the rune on the surface. Even the sharpest eyes in White Tower won't be able to spot you. Man guide you through a series of winding alleyways, leaving you dizzy and on the edge. I'll take in my surroundings. You glance up at the sky for a moment, making sure to keep pace with Mal and Ren. As you find the North Star and the sunken Galleon constellation, you realize Ren's house is only a few blocks away. Why would they set up a hideout so close? Finally, he stops in front of a cellar door and knocks 3 times. A moment later, it's thrown open. Here goes nothing. You follow Mal as he strides confidently in the bowels of the rundown building. When you reach the bottom of the stairs, a smooth voice calls from the shadows. The prodigal son returns. Of my own volition, I might add, so let's talk. A laugh that echoes around the room is melodic but cold. Then it's joined by another, and another, and another. Mal, what's going on? As your eyes finally adjust to the gloom, you see the basement is packed to the brim with rogues closing in on you with their weapons drawn.
Welcome home, Mal Valori.
Huh. Alright, without further ado, thank you all for watching. Please remember that if you did enjoy, to like, share, and subscribe. Head down in the description, plenty of things to check out, ways to support this channel, this family, this community that we have built, and also ways to become more of an intricate part of it. With that being said, let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Without further ado, catch you all later. Peace out.